minus 13 Celsius. So I think it's even colder here than in Montreal, right, Olivier? And I could. So, but no problem. It's hot at HealthQ. And so I want to welcome everybody to tonight. And let's see, how many weeks in are we now? Is this our third?
This is the third tip. So
our third tip, but our like several weeks in. And tonight we're going to cover the next two segments on the Wheel of Fortune, as we're calling it, the Wheel of Fortune. And that is, we're going to cover the wellness profile, the 3-day trial and the agreements that come with that. And then also going from a wellness profile or a 3-day trial to a full program. So I'd like to welcome up Millionaire team member Scott Hornick, and he's going to go through those two circles, and I'll come back up a little bit later, and we're going to do our personal development. And then, of course, we'll do the reporting at the end. So please give Scott Hornick a big hand.
Are these yours? Did I steal them?
Yeah, sorry.
All right, so I'm very excited to talk about the next steps in our Wheel of Fortune. I really like that, Wheel of Fortune. And, you know, last week we talked about inviting people into our community, inviting them to various activities and fit camps and weight loss challenges, mini HOMs, whatever it might be, and then moving them into a sampling opportunity. And of course, you know, we have a lot more steps that we're going to cover over the next couple weeks, but one thing I wanted to point out as we get into the next few is that it doesn't always have to be that someone comes in right here on the community activity. You know, oftentimes when we're out doing our face-to-face invites and we're actually having conversations, people are going to let us know that what they are looking for is really a nutrition plan. They're going to let us know that what they are looking for is that weight loss program. So for them to be coming in here is also awesome. Don't feel like the only place that you come in is right at the beginning of the circle here. As things progress, of course, there's steps we don't skip, but in the beginning, this is a big deal. So we're going to first take a few moments and discuss the wellness profile. And a wellness profile is a really great opportunity for you to take the time to actually get to know the person. I think we're better now on this one. To get to know the person that you're here to help. And a wellness profile is really just a series of questions and a series of taking gauges and numbers and helping to quantify results and to educate and to give value in the relationship. And so, number one, we need to understand their goals. And this is so, so important. If I were inviting someone in and I assumed that their goal were to ride 100 miles and be really fast, I might not have the best conversation with them. So asking questions, really helping understand their goals, digging into why is it that they want to do something, and keeping those notes, staying organized so that when you have a chance to follow up with them, when you're talking to them, when you're going over things, if they've deviated, you can really bring them back to home, reminding them, hey, remember when you said how it would feel when you try on that dress, or when you go in the dressing room, or when you wake up and take a shower? Do you remember that? Let's tap back into that. Let's get back there. So number one, understanding their goals. And then number two, part of the profile is really educating them on nutritional basics, just simple things that we teach, balancing protein and carbs, how we talk about protein-based snacks and the power of protein. All these things that we might take for granted as a coach and someone who's on a program and someone who's getting great results already, we really need to remember that a lot of people don't know. They don't know that they can't just cut tons of calories and work out more and lose weight. And so really making sure that we take some time and run over that in a very simple way that helps them understand makes it great. And then, you know, when setting any goal, you have to have numbers. You have to be able to track your progress. And so it's really also key to understand that wellness profile may be the first place you support somebody online. So it may be someone who is not in the state, maybe someone who's not even in your country, and you're able to help them through all the amazing tools we have. So applying all these same techniques, no matter where you're at, is really important. Getting them to make sure they take their weight and their measurement. We have some discussion as to how to say that word properly, but of course, I'm the one presenting, so we'll say measure. But taking their measurements is really important. It's just simple things, because as we all know, there are times when people are getting amazing results, but they don't see it on the scale. They don't see that weight dropping that maybe is their goal. So making sure that we can quantify that with inches and other things that are changing. If we don't happen to have a scale that shows us their body fat or other things, it's a really great element. And then helping them to find out what their daily caloric intake needs are and what their resting metabolic rate is another great tool just to help you coach them. So the last thing is really tying it all together with how our program helps them achieve their goal and relating to whatever it is. And what's so cool is the same products can be used to gain weight. You know, we just had a couple the other day sharing their story. It was really cool because one of them is gaining weight and the other one's losing weight with the same shakes, same products, just the way they use them are a little bit different. So customizing that and sharing with them how their Herbalife program is going to complement their goal is a very, very important part of that. And then lastly, which I've been guilty of many times and I'm continually improving on, is not being the expert, not being a scientist. You know, that's not our job. We don't need to do that. We have amazing doctors, amazing groups of nutritionists and people that have created the products, who have worked on the plans, who have done everything for us so you don't have to. Because I know most of us don't have a degree as a nutritionist. Most of us aren't doctors, and we don't need to play doctor in our Herbalife career either. So it's awesome just keeping it simple, because most importantly in that is that then people can see themselves doing the very same thing. So this covers some of the basic useful elements of the wellness profile. Next are, and this is a step that a lot of people skip at times, is setting an expectation for what the experience is going to look like. So, you know, for a client, you really want to come to an agreement with what it is that they should expect from you. You want to share with them all that they get and also what you expect from them. So in this, you know, number one is really what your follow-up looks like. So I personally love to make sure to ask people, how do they like to communicate? Would you prefer to text me, email me? Do you like calls, or should we Facebook message? And understanding what their language is and what language they want to communicate with is very, very important. And when I ask that, I get a lot better results. And it's so funny, because when I didn't used to ask that in the beginning, I would have people and I'd see them on Facebook and I'd see that they were active. I'd see them liking my posts and I'd message them and I never got a response. And I'd message them again and I got real frustrated. I'm like, why aren't you answering, you know, my message? Or even I would call them seeing that they were active. I knew they were doing something and they wouldn't answer. And I found that they were texters, or I found that they liked to email, or that they preferred different ways of communicating. So a simple question of, how would you like to follow up? And then setting that expectation of, when are we going to follow up? So, of course, our first day, I just let them know I'm going to check in on them and find out, how was your shake? How did it taste? How was your energy? How did you make it? Just simple little questions that enable us to make sure that we help things early. And then I let them know, you know, what day 3 will look like. Of course, if I'm on a 3-day trial, it's an everyday follow-up experience where I am talking to them each and every single day and, you know, working with them very closely, because that's their first experience. And no matter where you're at, whether it's a full program or a 3-day trial, this is the dating process. This is the time people are going to get to know you and how you work with them and what it's worth. And, you know, really setting that expectation of being a good dater, dating well and coaching them well and having a great relationship is very important. So this is really key. And then making sure they use the program how you agreed to use it. So however it is that they were going to use it in their day, that follow-up, keeping those simple notes. Again, you know, keeping it really basic is super important, and making sure that they follow that, because you know that the program you put together for them is going to get them great results. So lastly, for those who are using the 3-day trial, it's super important that when you set up the wellness evaluation in the beginning, you book a 4th-day follow-up. And it's really key, because you want to see those results and be able to make sure that you get them in that time period. If you get them on a 3-day trial and then they go out for the weekend and they have fun, they could erase all the great results that they had over those 3 days. So it's very, very key that if they cannot commit to the 4th day, you don't get them started until they can. And it's been amazing just to see what those are, but that's really, really important. And, you know, also in those expectations, sharing the expectation that when you get back, you're going to give them a little more information. If you have led with a 3-day trial, just keep it simple in the wellness profile. It doesn't have to be going over all the same nutrition. 101, it's like, hey, listen, we're just going to do a simple program, 3 days. You're going to do this, this, and this for 3 days. We'll talk a little bit more and give you more options after those 3 days happen, but this is the way we do it. It's really easy. And next time you come back, I'm going to give you a little more value, give you some more information, and also find out what program is going to help you get the long-term results and speak that into them in the very beginning. So next is moving from a profile or a 3-day trial into a full program. And it's really funny. People get excited. They do a profile, and when they're new, they do a great job presenting the information, but sometimes they don't get to where they need to be. They don't ask for the sale. And it's so funny. We've all been there. We've all been like, man, I just talked to all these people. They were so excited about everything they learned, excited about everything I was teaching them, and we don't get them all the way through. So these are some simple steps to help you move them from a profile to a full program. So number one, of course, is sharing stories. It's the number one thing we do, and it's where the inspiration comes and being able to relate to them. I was having this conversation with a gentleman who he's a client of mine and now down over 100 pounds, but he still has 100 and something to go. And when we first started talking about it, he didn't relate to me because I've never been in his shoes. I've never been 500 pounds. And it's really interesting when you start to share those stories, how it helps you relate to someone and helps someone understand so much better that you know where they're coming from, even if it's not your own experience. So share the stories. And then finding the products and program that really fits their goals. Again, kind of back to that racing, if I were in a position where my goal in life had been to lose 50 pounds and I'm speaking to an athlete who wants to be on their bike faster, ride faster, run faster, and I was not speaking the language of their needs in their program and I was talking about weight loss, you're going to miss it. So really, you've asked the questions already in the profile, you figured out what their goals are, and finding the program that fits that. And then next is really just assuming the sale. So which program would be the best program, do you think, to get the results that you want? And you already know they're going to get a program. You already know that's why they're here sitting with you, sitting across the table or on the phone with you or online with you. So really bringing it home and asking for the sale, because that's why they're sitting with you. They want what it is that you have. They want the program. They want the products, and it's super important. And then moving from there, once you do make that sale, because now they're on a program, they've decided what they're going to order, and you're helping them. I love to personally, we like to use some of the online tools, so we'll put it in the shopping cart right with them, right there, help them with their account, make sure that it's done front to back, and right then and there, we schedule the first follow-up appointment. And this is key, because if you don't have that on the books, and a week goes by, now you're trying to figure out when to get that in, you can lose people. So making sure that first follow-up appointment is really set up. And then connect them with any program that you have that's in alignment with their goals. So if I have someone that was excited about getting more fit, I would love to invite them to a fit camp or an activity that makes sense for that. If it were someone that was wanting to lose weight loss challenge would be perfect. And so there's a lot of opportunities, again, to make sure we invite them to whatever it is that makes sense for them in the challenge. So just a little recap, we can invite people right straight to a profile, or from our fit camps or other activities, we brought them in to a wellness profile, because ultimately that's where we really get to know what their needs are and how we can best serve them. From there, we bring them into a program that complements their goals and their needs. We schedule follow-up immediately, setting those expectations of what it's going to look like as a client and what you will do as a coach. And that way, they know you're doing a great job when you're following up. They know you're doing a great job when you're texting. And then, lastly, making sure that all that is available to them within your community, all that's available to them through all the incredible tools we have, is something that you bring them into, which is going to encourage them to now see more of what Herbalife has to offer, and ultimately, of course, having a chance to move into some of the other circles in our Wheel of Fortune. So that is it for today. Thank you very much, and looking forward to more amazing results from everybody.
Thanks for the intro, Scott.
Oh.
Okay, that's all right.
The beautiful, amazing, magnanimous Founder Circle member, Leslie Stanford. Personal development from the most personally developed.
Okay. Hey, I wanted to tell you that Jody is not here this week. She's actually in Puerto Rico, where it's 80 degrees, aka 25 degrees Fahrenheit, or Celsius. So She's in sunny, warm weather, and we're freezing here in Colorado, but I'm going to do the personal development section this time. We're going to continue with our Four Agreements book. And if you guys have been reading this, it's really interesting because I read it several years ago and I didn't really think much of it. Maybe I was too immature. But, and then I'm rereading it again and just finished it again. And it was a little, you know, if you're not really into the whole, you know, kind of new agey, funky, spiritual stuff, the first part's a little out there. But then when you get to the actual Four Agreements part, it's really incredible. And I found it to be quite profound. The last couple of weeks, Jody covered two of the Four Agreements, which are be impeccable with your word is the first one. And the second one is don't take anything personally. And then the one we're covering tonight is don't make assumptions and then always do your best. So let's talk about not making assumptions. Don't make assumptions. Because why? Because it makes a you know what out of you and me. Anyway, remember that one?
That was a good one.
So, okay, we are going to post these PowerPoints on the TIP Facebook page tomorrow, so you don't have to write all this down, and I'll just talk. But just on this, on the assumptions part, and as you read in the chapters, is that we have a tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe that they are the truth. We could swear they are real. We make assumptions about what others are doing, what others are thinking. We take it personally, and then we blame them and react by sending emotional poison with our word. That is why when we make assumptions, we're asking for problems. When we make an assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, and we end up creating this big drama for no reason. And one of the other things that I kind of came to an epiphany myself over is that when we make assumptions, we assume that people see things the way that we see them. And so when they don't behave the way that we assume they should based on how we see life, then again, it's more drama, it's miscommunication, it tends to be kind of a negative situation. And so, as the author of the book says, the way to keep yourself from making assumptions is to ask questions. Make sure the communication is clear. If you don't understand, ask. Have the courage to ask questions until you're as clear as you can be. So let's talk a little bit about this, because what I did was, in preparing for this, I started to thinking about the assumptions that I make in my life that aren't true. And let's talk tonight about two types of assumptions. One would be in our personal lives with our relationships with, you know, people that we love or we have personal relationships. And then the second part, we'll talk about assumptions that we make in our business life. So here's a couple of examples. These are kind of personal, but I'll tell you what happened. So we have loved ones, and they know us well, and so we make the assumption that we think that person should know what we are thinking and feeling. And we assume that they do. So sometimes we get into situations where we assume they know how we're feeling and how we're thinking, and they really don't. For example, okay, so my husband, Don, who's the world's best husband, but the only thing we've ever really had any disagreements about are over assumptions that he or I have made that are untrue. So for example, we have teenage daughters, and that they're not allowed to go out till their chores are done. That's a rule in the house. And they came to me this one night and they asked if they could go out, and I said no, because you haven't done your chores. And so about an hour later, I'm looking around, the house is really quiet, and I say to Don, where are the girls? And he said, oh, they went out. And I'm like, what? And I'm really upset because, you know, I told them no, and he told them yes, and I'm making the assumption that he just overruled me and thought it was okay that they didn't do their chores and said that they could go out. And I was pretty, ticked off. And just then the phone rang and I picked it up and took a phone call. And then I come out and I kind of ignored him. I was short with him. When he did talk to me, he said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Nothing." And then finally we got talking and he got it out of me why I was upset. And he didn't know that they had asked me if they could go out. He didn't know that I had said no. He didn't know that they didn't do their chores. But I had made the assumption that he had just made the decision to overrule me and let them go out. And so, if I didn't ask the questions, I didn't say to him, "Did you know that they came to me and asked me?" And I said no. So there's one situation. And, some of these things, that this is not a big deal, right? But there's some assumptions that we make that are pretty serious, and we let them drag on and on and on. And it could be even months and years that they drag on, and we don't talk about it. We don't ask the questions. We maybe sometimes need courage to ask the questions to find out. Okay, here's the second one. Last night, it's a school night. Our daughter has a curfew of 9:30 on the school night. Last night, we came home, it was about 11 o'clock at night, pulled into the garage, and my daughter's car is not there. So I made the assumption that she's still out, she's missed curfew. I start getting worried, where is she? Something bad happened, or she's just willingly missing curfew, and I get all worried and upset, and big drama. And so I text her and I say, "Where are you?" Exclamation point, question mark. About a minute later, I get this response, "I'm in bed." And I'm like, "What? Your car's not here." And she said, "Mom, my car wouldn't start, so I left my car at Lauren's and she gave me a ride home." So, okay, another one where I made an assumption, a little bit of worry, a little bit of drama, and could have totally avoided that situation if I would have just said, "Hey, I wonder where Dorian is." Just texted her first instead of making these assumptions. Okay, we were talking about all this earlier, and Katie, come on up, Katie, Active World Team member Katie Bradley.
Yeah.
Okay, I've asked Katie to talk about an assumption that was made in her personal life. This is a common thing.
Yeah, so one of mine is a work situation. I teach group fitness classes, and I often sub for other instructors. And I had this one class where I was teaching the class, and I look up and I see this girl just walk out. So I assumed, okay, she doesn't like me. She doesn't like the way I teach. She doesn't like my music. Just keep going. And then after class, I ran into her and she goes, "Sorry, I left your class. I started to not feel well." And that's why she had left. It had nothing to do with me, nothing to do with the way I taught. And then I saw her in another one of my classes later that week.
All right,
So
so she came back for more.
That's mine. Okay.
All right. Okay, so little things like that. Let's talk about business. And sometimes in business, the assumptions we make can lead to taking things personally, some kind of drama, some kind of upset. And let's talk about the idea that, the biggest assumption that we make is that everyone sees life the way we do. So one of the ways that I see life, and one of my own personal rules, is that if I made an appointment with somebody to be somewhere, to meet them somewhere, I would show up. And if something came up and I couldn't make it, then I would text them or phone call or let them know that I couldn't be there. So in other words, if you invite somebody to a fit camp and they say they're going to be there, I would expect that they're going to be there. And if they don't show up to that, and they don't call me and let me know, number one, I might be worried, but I would especially say, "Well, I wonder what I could have done differently," I would take it personally. I would say, "I wonder what I could have done differently to help them feel like they really wanted to come, and what did I do wrong?" And you start going through this scenario of what did I do wrong. So that's one thing. The next idea is that I remember making the assumption that my next door neighbor wouldn't be interested in the business because she had a great job, she had a beautiful home. So I made the assumption she's not interested. I don't talk to her. And then I go to an STS that I'm giving a training at, and she's sitting on the front row about to get her recognition for being a new supervisor. And I'm just like, what the heck? So it turned out that she just really got inspired. She needed to make extra money, and she got inspired by somebody who invited her to an HOM, signed up, started selling, and I missed out on that because I made the assumption she wouldn't be interested in. The next thing, and we do this all the time, and especially in the TIP program, we do invites, right? And a lot of times, like here's a scenario, I'm talking to somebody, I'm inviting them, I'm telling them about Fit Camp, I'm all excited, and the whole time I'm talking to them, you know, they're looking at their watch, they seem agitated, they're impatient, they're really not interested, and they let me know that. And I'm thinking, I take it personally, I'm thinking, okay, what did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? I'm no good at this, I suck, I don't know if this is ever gonna work for me, I'm no good at invites. What I didn't know is maybe she had just had a big fight with her boyfriend and like was really thinking about dumping the guy and didn't care about anything else at that particular moment. And I'm trying to talk to her about Fit Camp and she just doesn't care. Or maybe she just found out, she just got a call from the school, her son got caught smoking pot in the parking lot and he's gonna get suspended, and you know, little do I know, right? Or maybe, let's see the other one. Oh yeah, here's one. Maybe she has an uncle that's been in 35 multi-levels and have pitched her on every single one. And the minute you say multi-level or Herbalife or anything else, she just tunes you out and wants to get out of there. So by not asking the questions, we made an assumption about this person, right? And instead, we could have started asking questions and she still could say, not interested, no problem. We don't take it personally because we don't know why she's not interested. But again, don't take anything personally. It's one of the agreements. But we should be asking enough questions to kind of like be a detective to find out what it is in that person's life that we can help them with. Okay, so when we were going through all these scenarios, we made assumptions. And we took it personally. And most of the time, we make assumptions and we are wrong about them, but we react to people based on a false assumption. So think about that. Most of the time, we're reacting to somebody based on something that's not even happening, that's absolutely false. And so you almost never have clarity about any kind of situation. The communication is like this instead of like this because you're really not talking in the same ballpark even. So it just creates a lot of unnecessary drama, self-esteem problems, sometimes sadness, sometimes it's really big upset. Now, when we were talking earlier, Janine, Active World Team member Janine, pointed something out that I thought would be worthwhile sharing. So please help me welcome Janine.
Okay, so we were talking, and one of the videos that I've watched is The Secret, and they talk about willing things into the universe and stating them as we want them to be or how they should be. And so one thing that I make an assumption about is that everybody wants to get on a 3-day trial, and at the end of the 3-day trial, everybody's going to get on a program. Whether it's true or not, I'm willing it into the universe. So it's one way you can take an assumption and make it positive for you.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay. What I did was I think this assumption thing is so important that we put together a little worksheet that you can use to start thinking about maybe some of the things that you're currently doing, some of the things in your past, that you could really become aware of what we're doing. And so on on the TIP Facebook page tomorrow, you can download this little questionnaire, and you know, it's a worksheet. You fill it out. So the top question is, can you think of a time when you made an incorrect assumption that led you to feeling a lack of confidence? So there's a few different questions on there. If it helps you, fill that out. And even sometimes as couples, you know, if you're in a relationship and you're kind of feeling that things aren't really working, it might be just based on false assumptions. So the two of you could sit down and work on this. Okay, the last agreement is always do your best. And what that habit allows is, it allows the other three agreements to become ingrained in your everyday habits, okay? So what I'm going to do with this is kind of self-explanatory. One of the things you want to point out is that someday your best is better than other days. Someday, you know, you might be sick and your best isn't that great. But, you know, you just be conscious of when you're going through your day, giving it your all in whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, so for example, I know that with my kids, sometimes I felt like I was working so much, but when I would take an hour with that one kid, I would try to do one-on-one time. I would shut off everything else, no distractions, and completely focus on that one person and do my very best with having a 1 hour of distraction-free time with that person. So that's an example of me really being conscious of doing my best in that. And you know, everything that we do, if you really spend some time focusing on whatever it is that you're doing, being aware of, you know, doing the best workout that you can, doing your best wellness profile, being your very best, as good as you possibly can in doing the invitation, then it will start to become a habit. Okay, and then the last thing that it mentions in the book is breaking old agreements. And the whole first part of the book is talking about agreements that we made that were based on, you know, false assumptions. So go back and read this PowerPoint tomorrow and go through, you know, what we can do to break those old agreements that are really keeping us from moving forward. So that's the 4 agreements, and I think this book is really worth going back and reviewing a few times. And, you know, as you start getting better at it, sometimes you'll think, okay, now what did they say about, you know, that idea that not everybody sees the world the way that you see it? What could I learn from that? So you can go back and review it. This is kind of it's not the kind of book that you read once and never go back to it. So keep it handy. I think it's incredibly powerful. Okay, the next book that we're going to read, and so if you can get it before the November 20th session, it's called The Unbeatable Mind, and it's by Mark Devine. Now, this was recommended to me. I know this is a book that Brad Harris, some of you know Brad, reads. Dan Waldron has mentioned it to me before, and they just really loved it. And so I went out and bought it, and I started reading it. It's written by a former Navy SEAL, and so, you know, they have highly disciplined minds, but there's a lot more to it than just being disciplined in your mind. So it's called An Unbeatable Mind by Mark Devine. And so please get that before the November 20th class and read the introduction and chapter 1. So let's move on to our reporting, and let's get Scott back up here again. All right. Woo!
Okay. So real quickly, we're going to get creative once we go through the groups here reporting. And I didn't have a list of whose names and who's going to be reporting from each various group that's going to be on our Zoom today. So after we get done with our local people reporting, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through. I can see everyone's picture, not all at once. I'm going to scroll through, and if you're waving your hand, I'll know that you're the one that's going to be reporting for your group, and I'll activate you as a speaker. Of course, other than that, those people who are going to be looking at this as recording, I already saw quite a few groups have updated their numbers on the TIP page, which of course we do every week. So I will start first with our team's numbers. Let me just pull them up here. Okay.
Scott, when you press a button and you have your finger out, it's kind of interesting.
Thank you.
Just pointing that out. I won't make any assumptions.
You can assume that I'm being given a hard time right now if you can't hear anything. That's okay. All right. Real quickly, Kelsey's numbers for face-to-face month to date are 16 face-to-face invites and 3 new clients with a total volume of 589 volume points. Janine has how many face-to-face? She's going to improve her face-to-face because yep, okay, no problem. And she has 4 people on a 3-day trial so far, 2 more starting tomorrow and 2 more on Sunday, with a total volume of 1,400 volume points. As well, we have, I've done 33 face-to-face with 1 new client, 1 new coach as of today that came from talking to people at an event we were at, and 2021 volume points. And that is our group's numbers for this week. So
right.
Next person I'm gonna bring up is Katie. Woo!
All right, so my team, we had Christy, who was in Mexico. Did you do any face-to-face in Mexico? She had 3 face-to-face, 1 new client, 1 new member, 222 VP. Brenda, 12 face-to-face, 0 new clients, 0 new members, 0 VP. And then myself, 22 face-to-face, 2 new clients, 2 new members, 1,856 VP. You're beating me. Boo. And then Monica, 17 face-to-face, 1 new client, 1 new member, 2,021 VP. And then our leader for this month to date, Marvin, he's had 7 face-to-face, 2 new clients, 2 new members, 2,737 VP. Go, Marvin!
Yeah!
Hello, everybody. Hi. Also, we got one of our members is out sick and 1 person ended up moving, so I'll report the numbers that we have. Myself, I had 14 invites face-to-face, 1 new client, 0 new members, and 1,134 volume points. Roxanne, she had 9 invites, 2 new, oh, no, she didn't. Yeah, 2 new members, 2 new clients, 0 new members, and she is at 1,048 volume points. And together we have a total of 23 invites, 3 new clients, 0 new members, 2,182 volume points.
Right.
Awesome. Woo! Okay, so like I said, this is going to be the creative, fun part of the Zoom, where I'm going to scroll through, and if you would please raise your hand if you are reporting, and it's not going to be alphabetical, so if it's not, don't worry, but I see you. Thank you for raising your hands, and we are going to start here. All right.
Hello. Okay. You can hear me? Yeah, okay. So for our group, we have 3 distributors. First, Danielle did 12 face-to-face, 1 new client, no new member, and 755 volume point. Susie and Francis did 22 face-to-face, 0 new client, but 3 new members, and 4,717 volume point. And Donabel and I did 47 face-to-face, 4 new client, 1 new member, and 3,197 volume points. So total of, yeah.
Leslie said the Canadians are leading the pack so far. Awesome, good job.
Thank you.
All right, next.
Yes.
Oh.
Jose?
Hold on, sorry Fatima, just 1 second here.
No problem, just a little.
You're simply the best.
All right, can you,
Hi everyone. So here in Toronto, we have in our team, Shadi. She did 34 invites, 2 new clients, 1 new member, and 890 volume points. We have Asma. She did. She put too many invites. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but 1 new client, 0 new member, and 290 volume points. Have Lena, 10 invites, 5 new clients, no new member, and 1,517.90 volume points. Edgar, 12 new invites, 0 new clients, 1 new member, and 178 volume points. We have Rose, 23 invites, 0 new clients, 0 new member, 839.66 volume points. And I have myself, 17 invites, 1 new client, 1 new member, and 3,914.98 volume points.
awesome, great job. All right, so.
My turn. So actually, Shad is gonna share their. Yeah.
Perfect.
Hi everyone, this is Shadi from Toronto and our team. We have Sam, 2 face-to-face, 0 member, 2 new clients, 934.25. We have Sarah, 34 invites, 2 new clients, 1 member, 890 is the volume point. We have Sandy, 4 face-to-face, 0 clients, 0 member, 181 volume points. We have Ben, 2 invites, 0 clients, 2 new member, 1,365 volume point. Susie, 10 invites, 0 clients, 1 member, 300 volume points. And myself, where is this? 15 invites, 3 clients, 0 member, 1,745 volume points.
Awesome, good job. Woo! All righty. All right, here we go. All right, I see you. There you are, you're live.
Can I talk?
You can, please.
Perfect. All right. Hi, Scott.
Hello.
Looking good.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, here is the team. We got Jean Armstrong Greenlee. She got 5 invites, 1 new distributors, 0 clients, 687.10 value. And Puya Haidari, 57 invites, 3 distributors, 2 new clients, and 360.05 volume point. I got 15 invites, 0 distributors, 3 new clients, and a total of 850 volume point.
Awesome, good job.
That's the team.
Woo! All right. Let's see, who do I have next? Someone raise your hand. I'm scrolling through. All right, awesome. Here we go, Rita. You're ready to go.
Hey, thank you. Hello, how are you?
Good.
So for our team, we have Evelyn for the month, like 50 numbers, like 1 new customer, 0 new members, and 672 like point volume. And we have like Samuel, 46 numbers, 4 new clients, 1 new members, and for the total volume point, we have like 2,180 volume points. And I have me 38 new members, and the volume point 149. And we have like Simba, 3 numbers, 0 new clients, 0 new members, 0 volume points. So for the total, like we have yeah, for we have 4 new members, 4 new clients, 5 new clients, sorry, 1 new members, and the total volume points 3,001 volume points. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Farah, did I see you waving? All right, perfect. You're live, ready to go.
Hello, everybody. It's Farah from Toronto. Kerry has 15 face-to-face invites, 7 invites to SPS, 4 new clients, 767 volume points. Jeremy has 19 face-to-face invites, 2 new clients, 2 new members, and 1 VIP client, 1,473 volume points. And Alia has 14 face-to-face invites, 2 invites for the SPS, 3 new clients, 1 new coach, 401 volume points. And Pius has 12 face-to-face invites, 1 new client, and Farah, which is me, has 28 face-to-face invites, 2 new clients, 6 invites for the SPS, and 1,052 volume points.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Woo! Let's see, wave your hand if you're reporting. Looking for our next people. Oh, I see you. Yeah, next contestant. Come on down. All right. Ramziat, did I say that correctly?
Yeah, Ramziat.
Beautiful. All right, you're up.
Cool. Hi, everyone. Okay, so for my team, I have Shamiram. She did 16 face-to-face, 3 new clients, 0 new member. The volume point 1,273. I have Gonzalo. It is 20 face-to-face, 1 client, 5 new member, and the volume point is 2,100. I have Rene, 2 new client, 1 new member, 0 point volume, 38 face-to-face. I have Dominique, 7 face-to-face, 3 new client, 2 new distributor, and 2007 volume point. Myself, I have 0 new client, 0 new member, 425 volume point, and 5 face-to-face. In total, for the team, we have 81 face-to-face, 9 new client, 8 members, and 5,805 volume point.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Woo! All right. Let's see. Wave your hand if anyone else is reporting. I may have got everybody. Just gonna scroll through these one more time just in case I'm missing someone. I think this, oh, I see, we missed our first page. Roseanne, I see you, and I see you, Josie. Let's get you, Roseanne, first, and there we go.
Hi, Scott. It's just myself on the team.
Okay.
So it's
Team
okay.
one. Woo!
It's just all good. 51 face-to-face, 2 new members, 1 new customer, and $1,418 of volume.
Awesome. Woo! Good job.
I'll get them back.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Good job. All right. And last but definitely not least, to get you all pinned here, you're ready to go.
Hi, Scott. So my name is Jose, and I'm reporting for our Montreal group. So Mehdi, he done 45 face-to-face, 3 new customer, 0 new member, and 1,755 point volume. Then we have Jason Zubo. He made 2 face-to-face, 2 new customers, 0 new member, and 819 point volume. And we have Dominique Dupé. She did 7 face-to-face, 2 new customers, 2 new member, and 2,700. And myself, I did 10 face-to-face, 6 new customers, 0 new member, and 2,100 point volume.
Awesome.
Thank
Great
you.
job. Thank you. Woo!
Right. Okay, so
Oh, just wait, Scott. Katie has something.
Katie has something to report. Woo, Katie, yeah!
While we were sitting here, my volume went up from 1856 to 2002. Getting
Yeah.
closer. I'm getting closer.
So we have some really good
Healthy
rivalry.
competition.
Yes, some good competition going on here at the club. And got to stay on it. So, okay, so our upcoming meeting, our next meeting is going to be on the 20th of this month. So just make sure you have that on your calendar. And the following meetings will be on the 4th of December, as well as on the 11th of December. So that's a date change from the original schedule. So if you have the original schedule, please again note that on the 4th of December and the 11th of December, we will have our meetings as well. So for our next week, of course, we're going to do month-to-date numbers just like we've been doing. But as well, we want to hear, as you're going, one win from the group, one learning from the group that everyone can share. So just one as the group goes. And, as well, be sharing those, please, on Facebook. We all learn from each other. That's why we're here doing this together, because there's power in numbers. And, we're just looking forward to another amazing week, this new book. It's going to be incredible. And everyone make it an incredible couple weeks. Don't make assumptions. Do your best. It's going to be incredible. Woo!
And don't take it personally.
Yeah! Woo! Right.
Squad, man. You guys did good.
Look at it. Close out.
You're 19 BC ahead of me.
Oh, not for long.
Dang it.